Do you ever think about all the things you throw away? Sometimes I think about the fact that I alone produce a full bag of trash a week. But that trash, the things that we throw away without a second thought, it doesn't just go away. That trash is in a junkyard somewhere, maybe floating in the middle of the ocean. It's a weird feeling if you think about it. And the new anime, Gachiakuta, the name of which literally means trash, aims to explore this feeling on a deeper level. So today we're going to talk about the philosophy of trash. In Gachiakuta, society is split into three groups, the first two of which are pretty normal: the elites of society and the lower class. The setup is pretty typical. We see it everywhere, including in our own world. The elites of society own more than they could ever need, and the lower class is struggling to get by. But then there's this third category, the trash. The category of society that those first two don't even think about. In the case of Gachiakuta, literally. The Gachiakuta society takes place in a city floating in the air, and you're either born into the elite or the lower class. But both these classes produce garbage and throw them away below the city floating in the sky into what they call the abyss. No one knows what goes on in the abyss. It's seemingly just an endless space for you to throw your trash out and forget about it. In addition to trash, when someone is deemed a criminal, they're thrown into the abyss as well. But unbeknownst to the elite class or even the lower class, there is a whole society living in the abyss, the trash, even lower than the lower class. The protagonist of Gachiakuta, Rudo, is thrown into the abyss after being falsely accused of murder, and we follow his adventures as he tries to make it back to the surface. But behind the adventure and the story, I believe the author of Gachiakuta, Kei Urana, is making a simple claim. It's that trash doesn't just go away. Again, I alone produce a full bag of trash a week, I throw it away, and I never think about it again. If I were to think about all the trash that I've produced in just this year alone, it's probably enough to fill a school bus. And this is commentary that forgetting about things that we throw away is our default mode. And at some level, this is an anti-capitalist critique. Capitalism drives a system where things are made and used to be discarded to produce profit. Endless consumption replaces lasting value. There's a term called planned obsolescence, and it describes when an item has a very intentional lifespan set by the manufacturer, so that one day the item will stop working and you will have to buy more. Essentially, it's not in a phone company's interest to give you a phone that will last forever. Instead, they'll give you one that expires in 2 years to prompt you to buy the newest one. Focus is on profit and not craftsmanship, and I think craftsmanship is one of those things that's lost in modernity. So if we acknowledge the fact that trash doesn't just go away, well, what happens to it? In a way, Gachiakuta is an adventure with the trash that gets thrown out. The story starts in the elite class world, with a little girl throwing away a perfectly fine teddy bear. That bear is thrown away and dumped into the lower class, where we meet Rudo. Then the story follows Rudo, who was once in the lower class, but then gets discarded into the abyss as trash. And this is a territory that we, the initial watchers, didn't really imagine that the story would take place. Just the first episode is brilliant because so much setup was done for the city in the sky, and the audience fully believes the story will probably take place in the city, but we never think it takes place in the trash heap below the city. Having the show take place in this trash heap forces the audience to deal with the uncomfortable truth that there's no such thing as just erasing something. When it's thrown away, it still exists. And eventually we will have to suffer the consequences, be that infrastructure problems, global warming, or just trash heaps piling up. But this commentary is beyond anti-capitalism and throwing away physical garbage. Urana also uses trash as a metaphor for people and emotions. Because again, it's not only trash that lies in the abyss, it's people. Individuals that society has discarded, overlooked, or deemed unworthy. Whether or not their abandonment was justified or not, that's beside the point. They still exist. Urana wants us to understand that just as much as trash we discard, the people we also discard, they don't go away either. Society eventually has to deal with these individuals just like they eventually have to deal with the physical trash piling up. And this idea is embodied in Rudo, who was unrightfully discarded. His very existence affirms the fact that the discarded don't stay gone. As his goal is to crawl back to the surface, the trash will return. And in doing so, he forces us to ask ourselves the question, what if the trash does come back, and how do we deal with those consequences? What if we had to face every object, person, belief system that we'd cast aside? And this idea really reminds me of some of the recent Jubilee videos, where people with fringe or radical beliefs are brought to center stage for a debate. Often it's clear that these people haven't genuinely participated in mainstream society for years. If they were to speak their mind in public without the context of a debate show, they would instantly be cast aside by society. From proud fascists to anti-vaxxers, there are definitely some people on that show that should honestly be discarded and shunned from society. But here's the truth we can't escape. After the cameras stop rolling, those people go home. and they still exist. They live their life, they raise children, and they want to re-enter mainstream society. And again, this is in no way about validating their beliefs, but just recognizing that they exist. Denial doesn't make them go away, and throwing them into the abyss, as we see with Gachiakuta, only can be a temporary solution. You might call these people the underbelly or the shadow of society, always there whether you're looking at them or not. And we can choose to ignore them, but eventually we will see some sort of consequence, whether in the form of light or major revolutions or a painful reintegration. But Urana gives us some hope as well, and Rudo is the answer to that trash problem we face. In a world obsessed with throwing away, Rudo stands in opposition. His whole character rebukes the idea that anything or anyone is truly useless. Rudo's perspective on trash is radically different. He sees worth, not waste. He's taken care of the gloves his father's given him for years. And to him, something, even if it's trash, is cared for, respected, and given a purpose. It has a soul. And this belief shapes his power. In the show, his ability is to give life to things that people have thrown away. In his hands, trash becomes weapons. And this is the philosophical heart of Gachiakuta. The idea that to address this trash problem isn't to deny it or throw it away. It's through restoration, rehabilitation, and reuse. Throwing things away, whether they're objects or people, only offers temporary relief or convenience. In the end, it always comes with a cost. We might bury the consequences, but they don't vanish. Sooner or later, they come back for reckoning.